All right. Hi, Neil.
Hey, hey, Precious, how are you?
Happy. I'm good. Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, I was about to say happy Monday, but today is not a Monday, is
No,
it?
today is Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yeah. So this is kind of different from our usual
yeah.
schedule. So we are shooting on a
Mm,
Wednesday today, and
yeah.
yeah, kind of excited.
So
So we've made.
just for
we've-
everyone else, the reason was that I was not traveling. I was in a conference. That's why we couldn't do it.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, apologies. We've missed 2 Mondays. I mean, we are making up for the second Monday by doing on a Wednesday today. So yeah,
Correct.
thank you for joining
What
us.
what do we got
Anyway,
today, man? What happened last week?
a lot of things a lot of things has happened. I think this week we have like a lot of model based stories,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then we'll have
Mm-hmm.
this interesting topic, which is like the topic for today's episode, which is hiring agents like remote workers. And I think a lot of business people are going to find this episode very interesting. And yeah, so I'm thinking we should start from the topic just so that we doesn't get lost in the conversations. Yeah, so Neil,
Oh,
you want to get started with that?
so start with the main story. Oh yeah, switching
Yeah,
things
yeah,
around.
the
I
next
like it.
story.
I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so this came out from so I was in a AI Rising conference, which is a local conference in here. It was really good. There was lots of people, lots of interesting discussion. So I partnered with my friend Jennifer here. So we had a topic where the concept was kind of treating tools as your teammates. And I remember when I was with Jennifer, we were bouncing ideas. One of the metaphor that we landed on, which I think is sort of really powerful, is sort of hiring AI agents like a remote employees. The reason for this being sort of effective metaphor, because anytime you go to large enterprises and companies and talk about, hey, we're going to use AI agents, AI tools, AI automations, all of this uh, feels like a transformation, right? Oh God, we got to change things around, move things around. And we mentioned about this in our last episode about the MIT story where 90% of the AI adoption seems to be not producing value. And if you look at the thread and sort of zoom out a little bit, one of the fundamental reasons most of this adoption sort of failed, this transformation failed, is that we try to reorg things. And if you there is a famous law called Conway's law, which and you guys can look it up on Wikipedia, which sort of says that your organizational structure sort of dictates how people communicate with each other, right? So changing human behavior or organizational structure is super hard, right? That's one of the reasons why lots of transformation fails. So we took a new approach to this, sort of flipped the Conway's law, saying maybe we should not change the reorg, or maybe we should not do a reorg. We should keep the business as is because business is making money. They're doing everything already good, right? How can we fit this new AI automation into an existing structure? So change the system to fit the organization, if that makes sense. So use this metaphor as so treat AI agents like a remote employees. But when you do that, then you suddenly not thinking AI agents are differently. So think of um, how do you hire remote employees? So you typically start with job description, right? So then maybe you should create a job description for your AI agent. And that job description will say, hey, this AI agent needs to, here is the responsibilities for AI agents. It will take this input, this output, and this AI agent needs to report to this manager, which is essentially nothing but human in the loop, right? You see where I'm going with this? Uh, this is good because we've been writing job description for a lot of years, right? We are really good at this. So suddenly, AI agent is nothing but a remote employee. I'll just create a job description. Then we walk through the flow. Then, okay, once you create a job description, you got a bunch of AI agents. Now, how you vet them, how you interview them. Well, you do run a pilot. What are some of the reasons and the ways to do pilots? So we went through a bunch of descriptions and details around that. And then you do sort of once you hire them, then what happens next? So your AI agent should shadow some experienced employee, right? This is exactly where we talk about, right? When you deploy AI agents, you always should have some sort of way to monitor them, right? How they're behaving, making sure their outputs are properly checked. This is nothing but shadowing, right? When you hire a new employee, what they do, they pair with an experienced person so that they can learn the tricks. So this metaphor works really, really well. And we even extended that idea further, saying your AI agent should have an email address like any other employee. Your AI agent should go through your compliance onboarding processing, because at the end of the day, and we talk about this a lot through context engineering, right? This is nothing but context for the AI agent, right? It will understand your way of doing things, your processes. This is just data for them. Um, so I feel like this is an excellent metaphor way to sort of think through what are AI agents and how to work with them. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, I'm going to ask some questions that I feel like other people
Sure,
are going to have,
sure,
just so
sure.
that we can close the conversation. So,
Yeah.
does this mean that, is this like, okay, this AI agent, I hire you, you shadow my worker, right? As
Hmm.
let's say I'm
Hmm.
hiring a company, you shadow my worker,
Hmm.
and after a period of time, I let go of the worker, and then I just have the AI agents working for me.
No,
Is it
no, it's not letting go. It's not replacement. No, no, that's the wrong way to
okay?
think
It's not
about this, right?
replacement.
No, no, no.
Okay.
It's just adding. It's just a new team member, right?
Yeah.
So it will be part of your Slack channel. It will join your Google Meets. It will do stand-ups,
Yeah.
but it will be an AI agent, right? It will have a name. It will have a persona.
A
And lots of
persona.
companies we've been talking to in the conference also, they've been saying that we name our AI agents. That way, uh, it it feels sort of part of the organization, right? Instead of saying go talk to the chatbot, we name our chatbots. We say go talk to John, go talk to Eva. Eva will know what our HR policy. But who is
Yeah.
Eva? Eva is nothing but an AI agent.
An AI agent. Okay. Okay. Because I think sort of like the approach that I've seen companies use these days
Yeah,
has been the a two approach. So most companies, especially
yeah.
ones that are not like AI first companies, they use CAI as a tool. So they see it like, oh,
To
the way they see Microsoft Word, they see Excel, they just
yeah,
some even pay and they say, oh, we have subscription, just use it, right?
yeah.
Giving you this thing as a tool. So you are proposing like another way for these companies to approach using AI.
Yeah, tool is not a good metaphor. I personally feel like it's not a good way to think about this, because this is not the traditional tools we are used to, right? AI agents are a different beast altogether. They
Yeah.
have a power to think. They can act on their stuff. They have this processing power. They can process data. They can infer. They have intelligence, essentially, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
They're intelligent software systems, and if you start treating them as a remote employee, there are a couple of benefits for this. The one biggest benefit is that it fits into your existing structure already. You know how to onboard people, you know how to onboard remote employees, you know how to have them go through, you know how to put KPIs and OKRs for them. If you start treating AI agents as a remote employee, you can put all those existing systems in place. You don't have to reinvent, you
It's,
don't have to do new things, is what I'm saying.
yeah. 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 Yeah.
It
So you kind of
reduces the
like
friction,
assign
it helps
tasks,
you.
they come
Yeah,
for
you
a
have a
stand
mentor.
up, you assign the tasks.
It stand-ups, then what happens is that I think there is a psychological aspect to this. Then your team members also start to treat them as this is just another employee, right?
Yeah.
Instead of sitting in our office, it's running in some data center somewhere.
All right. All right. So, no, and I think there's also the assigning tax approach to it. And then
Mhm.
at what level is this AI going to work? Because there is also issue of privacy, issue of security, right? So
Correct.
what level of information are we going to make available to this AI agent? Where does this agent run? Are we,
So
who
this
has
is this is classic provisioning, right? So
yeah,
when a new employee joins, you get access to certain systems, and you don't get depending upon your role, right?
yeah,
Um, so similarly, you have to think about, yeah, this AI agent is developer, so this agent will get access to GitHub. Oh, this might
yeah,
not get access to our private Google Drive because that's for executives. So
yeah.
provisioning becomes like how you provision your remote employees.
Oh, I see. I see. I
Yeah.
see. I see. So I think the last question I'm going to have on this is just where I believe other companies are going to come in is this. So where can they access these AI agents, right? So, I mean, when we talk about AI agents, first of all, a lot of people think anything. I can go on LinkedIn right now and make a search of AI agent, and then you're going to see a bunch of anything conversations coming up, right? I know we've discussed it on this podcast and we've said, oh no, those things are workflows. They are not essentially AI agents. So for companies who are interested in, this hiring AI agents
Yeah.
as remote workers, how do they get started?
Yeah, I mean, it depends, right? What type of agents you're hiring. All I'm trying to understand, I wanted to keep it non-technical a little bit.
Yeah.
It's really, implementation really doesn't matter, even though in N8N, our AI workflow is not an agent, but let's treat them as an AI agent for this conversation. It really doesn't
Okay.
matter. What
Okay.
matters is that the way you interact with them has to be feel natural. You
Okay.
cannot I think where lots of transformations are failing is that we are forcing everybody to use ChatGPT like interface. I mean, I think that is a tool like approach, right? Here is a new tool. We should sprinkle this tool in all department and hope to get some magic out of it. It really doesn't work. If it's truly a teammate, that agent should adapt to how your existing team is working. If your existing team always gets work assigned through Slack, this agent should be part of that Slack channel. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So chat is not I know it's the most popular interface to talk to AI, but it's not the only interface.
Okay. Okay.
I will share more. I
All
mean,
right.
I'm happy to, Jennifer. I was planning to, we'll make a good blog post, maybe do a podcast specific to this topic.
Yeah. Maybe we should bring Jennifer here so we can,
Yeah, totally.
have like
She'll
a
be
very
more than,
robust conversation.
yeah, yeah. So that's it. I mean, we then talked about sort of zoom out a little bit, one AI agent as an employee, but down the line, I mean, it's not hard to believe, right? Organization's going to have
Right.
hundreds of AI agents in
Right.
there,
Yeah. So
kind of
maybe we
working
should
with
get
humans.
Jennifer as our.
That builds up the second order changes we have to. There is some change, right? So what does that feel like? And we focused a lot of stuff around uh, upskilling, right? This is a very sensitive topic for all of us, right? I mean, we there is a psychological issue too. I mean, there is one downside of this, or challenging downside, is that treating an AI agent as a teammate, this AI agent probably going to be smarter than everyone in the team, or getting more stuff done. That
Yeah.
might have psychological effect on other members of the team, saying, "Hey, John, AI agent is pushing 10 PRs every day versus I pushing only one per week, right? What is that do to my motivation and stuff?" There is some gray area, but I'm sure as we walk through this, we'll be able to figure out. Every team has some people like who are better than you, or comparatively, some are doing, you know what I mean, right? Then how can we put an infrastructure and
Yeah.
structure in place that we can learn from them, right? So anyway, it was fun. I mean,
Yeah.
we should do more.
I think also that also
Yeah,
comes.
go ahead.
Yeah. I think also uh, conversations on hierarchy also comes in, right? So hierarchy also comes in.
Hierarchy. Now we have
Um,
to have some of AI.
should,
We
should
I mean, we talked about sort of now new roles, and that was one of a common theme in our podcast too, right? How the space is evolving. Um, Clearly, what job we are doing right now will not be the job we're going to be doing 5 years down the line, right? We all understand this, right? Things going to evolve. A new role's going to
yeah,
come. We're going to be more polyglot in terms of we're not going to be just one skill. We might be specialized in one, but generalist in multiple aspect, right? Because now we have these tools to do
yeah,
so many things. Then we might have roles like AI collaboration coach, right? People who are expert
yeah,
to sort of mitigate that kind of friction between AI and human, right? So
yeah. Okay, that's interesting. All
yeah, yeah,
right, so let's go into the rest of the stories for the day.
yeah,
This is a very interesting topic. I mean, I really think we should get Jennifer so that we can have like robust conversations so that
absolutely.
companies can, learn how to get in. All right. So the first story I have for today is from WAP Code. So WAP Code, I think it's a model. So they are saying that
They're
they have
they're a
released
they're a,
number
they're a
one.
platform, right? Yeah.
Yeah, their platform. Yeah. So they're saying that they've released the number one coding agent on Terminal Bench. So they have a 75.8% score on SWE's benchmark. The whole test that we do for AI agents. So some people are saying it's verifiable, and then I read Medium articles on developers who have implemented this model locally on their system, and they've used it to work. I have this interesting Medium article. I'm going to share it in the chat. So according to them, this their model has like it can autonomously fix real world GitHub issues. It can go into complex code bases, and then it uses single architecture. You can just give it a lightweight prompt. You can just tell it, oh, create this feature for me. It goes in and do all those things. So it has speeds up bug fixes, code reviews on your terminal, and then it improves daily agentic workflows. Basically, you can basically just assign your to do. You have all the tasks you need to do on a daily basis in your code base. Just take everything, give it to WAP code. It goes on and executes it for you. So that's what they say that they are doing, right? And then after doing the benchmarks test, they scored a 75.8%, and they named themselves number one, which is the best. So I'm going to drop the link to the people that have implemented it. I think, yeah, this guy implemented it locally and wrote an article about it on Medium. And he actually said, oh, this is cool. And I think if you're a developer here, you might want to check it out. They have This guy also compared it with Cloud Code, because he said he had to move from Cloud Code to WAP, right? Or we wrap, something like that. So, and he
Mhm.
thinks this is better. So, yeah.
Well,
Um,
that's a very interesting, bold claim.
yeah, very bold claim.
Do you
So,
know how they price it? Uh, on that
no, I
bench?
don't think I saw the pricing,
Okay.
even though I am sure it is open sourced. I know it's open sourced from, you know,
Okay.
yeah, they didn't,
Cool. Very cool. We need
yeah,
better
very
models.
cool.
So speaking of coding models, so this one is a very interesting. So I will definitely try this. So XAI from X, the Twitter, they released a
Yeah.
new Grok Code Fast 1 model. So this is a new large language model from Elon Musk XAI. The interesting thing about this is that this is specifically built for agentic coding. That's not interesting. The interesting bit is that its emphasis on speed and real world integration. So it just showed up on my GitHub Copilot. I'll definitely try. One of the things that I've been realizing as I use Claude Code and heavily these days, right? And GPT Copilot and other, based on what type of projects I'm using. The time it takes to process through that, I know. We just got this model. Now we are complaining about speed already, but it does frustrates me a little bit, the time it takes. No wonder why people are moving into approaches like Git. What is a Git work tree or something? There is a mechanism. I haven't tried this yet. A mechanism to run Cloud Code parallelly on multiple issues. So because when it's making changes, but it's impossible for you to work on that code base, right? So you're sort of waiting for it to get stuff done. Um, so having someone that focuses on speed would be very interesting to me.
Oh. Hmm. Hmm.
But it
Okay.
has to deliver, though. It has to be as quality at par. So I'll definitely give it a try. So, but it's developers are saying it's a blazing fast, and fast is
Oh,
good
wow.
because you want a faster feedback on you working on issues. Speed is very important in software development, right? Um, so they came up with a
Accuracy
new
also.
model.
Speed and accuracy. Because what's the essence of being fast, but you're
You
giving
can go
me
fast
gibberish?
and produce garbage. It really doesn't work. But yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a mixture of experts architecture. We talked about this, right? Remember a flashback. Underneath is multiple smaller models, and the
Yeah.
way it works is that based on your request, it figures out what combination of this combination of team of models can solve the problem. This is
Yeah.
becoming a very popular architecture for LLMs because that allows you to make the model smaller and handle
Yeah.
bigger problems. Anyway, large context windows, all that stuff is good. One of the way that it really makes a larger context window means that this model can handle large code bases, which is always a good thing. Um, the performance is really boosted by, I'm sure they're using some smart engineering techniques here, prompt caching. So prompt caching is one of those magical arts that people are optimizing to, because of when you do prompt caching well, and if you know how to do that well, not only you save money from your tokens, but also make things faster.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Do you have a link or something?
Yes, I'll drop the link in here.
Okay. 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 Speed and accuracy very important, because if it's accurate, I would rather you go slow and give me accurate results than you goes fast
I
and give me.
agree. I agree with that.
Yeah. All right. So I think the next story I have here is from Google. I mean, Google has been doing a lot of interesting things. I think the week we missed was the weekend they released Nano Banana, and then Nano Banana has been everywhere. Everybody's talking about Nano Banana,
Yeah,
right?
we definitely miss banana. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we miss banana, yeah.
Have you
So
tried it?
yeah, so a friend of mine built a simple tool on top of Nano Banana, right? Something that
Yeah.
helps designers to create mockups. So let's say we want to make a shirt and we want to have Tublian logo on a shirt. So I can easily upload the logo, upload a blank
Mhm.
shirt, and then it creates mockup for me. We place Tublian logo on a mug, on a billboard. We have a design, want to put it on a billboard, stuff like that, right? So I
Mhm.
tried it. I used it for a whole day. He had to call me to tell me to stop using that. I'm burning his credit.
Okay.
So yeah, I tried it. It's interesting, right? And then I
Yeah.
love how people can build on top of when they release the API and people can now build tools. I think they had a challenge that closed on Monday, right? So people
Oh,
were
they have
go
API too. That's
yeah,
cool.
they have API, yeah. So people were building a lot of interesting stuff. I was on the Twitter thread trying out different use cases, and people came up with a lot of interesting use cases. In fact, a guy built a tool that has
Mm,
an API that e-commerce websites can integrate, and then all you need to do is just to tap on what you want to buy,
mm.
upload a picture of where you want to. Let's say I want to buy a table. I
Yeah.
upload a picture of a space where I want to place that table, and then I upload what I want to buy, and they automatically extracts the image and places it in the space where I want to have it. Sort of like showing me how it's going to look on that space. It's crazy. I was like, oh wow, this is
Oh, that's nice. Oh,
yeah.
so almost like what is it? AR maybe, right? You point to an empty spot and it just
Yeah.
places.
So,
Yeah.
but this time it's not AR. So you just take pictures, what you want to
Oh,
buy,
just
and the place
pictures.
where
Okay.
you want to keep it here, and then it just places it for you, right?
Okay.
So it's very simple but interesting use case. And then I hope the guy wins, and I also hope my friends wins.
Cool.
All
Very
right.
cool.
So yeah, Google released what they call the Gamma model. Is it
Yeah.
Gemma model? Yeah. So they called it the embedding Gemma model. So the embedding Gemma is a
Gamma,
308 mil
maybe.
Gemma. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Embedding Gemma. Yeah. So it's a 308 million parameter multilingual text embedding model based on the Gemma 3. It is
Mm.
optimized to use in everyday devices such as phones, laptop, and tablets, and this model produces numerical representation of text to be used for downstream tasks such as information retrieval, semantic similarity, search, and then classification and clustering. Now, what this simply means is that it can enable you to build RAGs without needing cloud services, right?
Yep.
Because I guess that's because of the parameters, the size of the parameters, and
Yep.
then it is also fast. You can do like fast inferencing, and it
Yeah.
is very ideal for building like in real time apps. Some people have also commented on that on Reddit, and it's also good for multilingual scenarios.
Mm.
Chatbots that we want to chat in Chinese or something like that, right?
Mhm.
It's also good in that. So similarity,
Mandarin.
Mandarin, yeah, yeah. So similarity detection, especially in offline and privacy sensitive environments. Now, I think this is a very good one because it's going to help people to be able to build a lot of interesting things on top of on top of this model,
Mm.
especially for apps. Apps has been blowing up. In fact, there's this. I read this interesting Substack article on how the App Store is going to be reinvented because AI has come in. So every app on the App Store needs to be rebuilt with an
Mm.
AI feature in it, sort of, right? So, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's interesting. It's interesting because models like this is going to like help that transition or that to happen very, very fast because
yeah,
it means that it's easier to now build, integrate
yeah,
AI into mobile apps and laptops and everyday use.
yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, I understand why embedding models are used and the purpose of it. I struggle, I mean, to understand how you differentiate because what Google is doing, there is lots of free embedding models from Hugging Face also, right? If
yeah,
anyone out there who is specialized in RAG, you're probably going to know this. How you pick which embedding model to use? I know some of these embedding models are tied to the LLM model that you're using to retrieve. But is
yeah.
there any other sort of strategy and metrics you guys use to pick, okay, I'm going to use Google's embedding model because it's better for this reason? I would love to hear from you because I just use whatever I see on the documentation. I really don't
Yeah.
think which is better versus others. So, um,
Yeah.
but
I
I
guess
understand
maybe,
why we need them.
yeah, I guess maybe things like sizes and then maybe
Yeah.
accuracy or stuff like that may now be
I,
where,
I, I bet there's yeah, the vectors that it creates might produce a better result,
yeah,
but I sort of wonder how, or I'm very curious. Maybe I can
yeah,
find a literature around this, but if you know, just tag us and tell
yeah.
us.
Just tag us, guys. Tell us in
Um,
the chat box. Yeah,
Speaking of that, I was thinking of I'll talk about the Amazon story. Maybe I'll do that next. But let me switch to, because you talked about something that's very important, right? On device, run locally. Um,
yeah,
so Apple is doing finally some Apple story. I know we hardly
yeah.
talk about Apple and
Finally,
AI,
finally.
and we always
Yeah,
say, "What's Apple doing in AI?" I know
yeah,
they had a huge event yesterday, and they released a new sort of iPhone. Maybe I'll upgrade to
yeah,
that, and AirPods and stuff. But they quietly released a couple of interesting models. One model
yeah,
they have released, but the big difference of these models are all these models are tuned or fine tuned to run on device. So they have two
yeah,
models, Fast VLM or Mobile Clip 2. So they all can run on your Apple Silicon. That means it literally can run on your iPhone, which is sort of very, very interesting and sort of makes sense for their strategy, right? They want to work on models that will run on iPhone. So
yeah,
instead of competing on this chatbot race that everyone else is into, I think Apple is, which is smart. Apple is sort of leaning into privacy preserving real time AI that runs locally on your iPhone. That's the space they want to be. So it's almost like, imagine you taking, if you're an influencer, you taking a shot through your iPhone or video and use that video run through a model that runs locally on your phone. You don't have to upload to cloud or anything. And then push that edited video on Instagram. I think it's going to be a very popular workflow, right? Um,
yeah.
so all of these are very small. Variants are very lightweight. They have one which is a zero point 0.5 billion parameters, so it's very super small. So they're ultra efficient. I saw some demo videos also generated by these two models. Which looks fascinating. So it can create sort of, it takes so high resolution image and text understanding real time and creates a video out of that.
Wow. I mean, I think it's very interesting coming from Apple. I
Yeah.
think one of the most interesting clip I saw from yesterday is the new AirPod that they released, where someone said this is direct competitor to Duolingo, right? The
Oh,
language,
the translation piece, huh?
yeah,
Mm.
the translation piece where you can be speaking another language, I still hear English. That is very interesting. So that means I can travel and and I'm also interested in this because I don't know if it can translate African languages. Because I mean, I had some conversations with some guys, and I think this is where some of these models come short, right? Yeah, but I think it's
Why
going to
you
be a
think
very
so?
interesting one.
Why is that? Because they don't have data, enough data, or what? Why is
Yeah,
it?
enough data, right? Yeah, data is, especially when it comes to speech models. So
Yeah.
in my in my MBA class, they have this thing they call mind. So it's a model where, so this is how it works. I read a case study, right?
Yeah.
Instead of me going to write an exam, I come to this AI, and the AI asks me questions based on the case studies that I was given. All I need
Mm,
to do is to answer the questions. I just have a chat with the AI.
mm,
Now the AI is good, understands me very well.
mm.
I don't need to bother if I'm stuttering or anything, because it's very clean, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
It even gives me transcript of what I just said with
Mm,
removing all the filler words that I use. Now, um, the downside is that this AI has like a very weird accent, right? I struggle to hear when it's talking to me, right? And this
mm,
is supposedly locally developed AI solution, right? So why does
mm.
it have this weird accent? The accent is close to South African Kenya accent, right? It sounds weird to me. It doesn't feel like, it
So,
doesn't feel as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I get
yeah,
it.
so
I get it. I get it. I mean, I think
yeah, so
eventually they will get it.
yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
just a
So
matter of how fast they can get the
and
data.
then, like a country like Nigeria will have more than 300 different languages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do we make for all of this? And there are people that can't, they only speak these languages. They don't speak any other language, right? And
Yeah.
our English is not even English like English. We have the Nigerian pidgin, right?
So funny you mentioned that. So from India, so the part of India I'm from, we speak Bengali. Bengali is our sort of my mother tongue. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now there is a country where Bengali is their national language, which is Bangladesh, which is sort of
Wow.
neighboring to that.
Yeah.
So ChatGPT knows how to speak Bengali. I was
Oh,
I was showing one of my aunt here how she's old, how she can use ChatGPT, and I told her that you don't have to learn English. You can talk to in your own language, which is Bangla,
that's
and ChatGPT will
interesting.
reply, and ChatGPT does reply, but the
Oh,
accent
wow.
is from Bangladesh, not
Oh,
our
I see.
accent.
Not the
It's the
accent.
same problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Can
right.
I do one more story real quick?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So this is one from Amazon. Um, the reason this is Amazon released a new paper where they're thinking of fine tuning or training AI that can debug its own code. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
So the important aspect of this is that most coding assistant today generates code but struggles when code fails, right? I mean, we all have experienced that, right? So what Claude and
Yeah.
others will do is that they generate the code. You can ask Claude to run a unit test. That's why have so important to have verifications, right? So maybe you
Yeah.
have a unit test or compiler, and it gets the error from the compiler. So I see the error, and I will fix it. So
Yeah.
traditionally, the way this models works is that this is a prompt-based fixing, right? The debug goes based on the prompt. You will say, "Hey, your solution is failing. Here is the error. Fix it," right? What they're trying to do is that they're trying to fine tune a model, saying that what if the model itself can figure out what the error is, so that you don't
Hmm.
have to. Okay, and
Yeah.
so that means what they're doing is essentially sort of building a new type of reinforcement learning where it's providing this model, which is LEDX, Amazon's LEDX innovation. That's what they're calling it. I'll share the paper link. What they're doing is that they're training the model to debug as a launch skill. So they're providing lots of wrong solutions and explanations and fixed version. So that's the training data. So as the model goes through it, so what it's trying to figure out is that when it makes a mistake, it understands why that model has made a mistake and how it can fix it later on so that it doesn't make the same mistake again.
Oh,
I
wow.
think this is a very, very interesting space to be in. I think this is so important because it gets frustrating and annoying to keep repeating. And that's where you get all this context engineering technique and claude.md file on your root folder to creates sort of enforcement. Hey, always do this, always do that. So imagine model comes out of the box sort of with that capability, like a developer knows how to debug code. A
Yeah.
sign of a good developer is that how well that developer can debug code, right? Things will
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
go wrong. That's how you verify that this guy is smart. So having the
Yeah.
skill in the model is super, super useful.
Oh wow, nice. I think debugging is very important, and then also knowing even where to look and how to look. So a debugging
Correct.
model is going to be very good.
And I like it how they're sort of viewing this. They're building this capability that let model explain what that model has
Oh
built. I think that's the part, right? When you try to explain a problem, most of the time you get a solution. Oh, and I know what the mistake I was doing, you know.
yeah,
So I think
yeah.
that's a really nice technique.
That's a very nice technique. And though I think for technical people, for like engineers, is going to be very, very important. I was
Yeah.
speaking to an engineer over the week, and he's like, okay, that so he just started using AI. He just started
Okay.
using AI like 2 weeks ago, and then
Mm.
it's very interesting to see him be like, oh wow, you can do this. And then sometimes he's like, okay, this thing is telling me rubbish. I need to go in and look through all these things myself. So we're
Mhm.
trying to get why an issue was not going, and something was not working in a particular code base, and then he will tell me that okay, I think I know where this is. You know, the way I love the way he thinks about the problem. He's like, okay, this is supposed to pass this to this, and then he goes to this, he console.log this, and then it was just very interesting to watch him go through all that. And I'm like, okay, so what if we put this in the AI and just ask ChatGPT what is causing this? And then anytime we do that, you're like, oh wow, man, I think I missed this 3 steps
Mhm.
ago. And it's sort of interesting to know.
This,
So if you have
this is
the model,
amazing. Yeah, this is
yeah,
amazing. Sometimes when you get stuck, just explaining the problem to ChatGPT or Claude, you get a
yeah,
solution.
you get a
Ah,
solution.
now I
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I'm doing. When you-
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, I
cool.
think that's very interesting. Yeah. So yeah, I think this should be the last story just because of
Mhm.
time,
Yeah,
right? So it's from
yeah.
me. So we have this Kimi Moonshot AI unveils Kimi K2, a 1 trillion parameter open source MOE model, right? So
Yes.
it's called mixture of expert model with a
Mhm.
1 trillion two parameter and 32 billion active parameters per inference, and it's built for agentic tasks, right? So now this is the idea here. The idea here is that it knows how to combine tools to get things done for you. Reading
Mm.
their reading their official announcements, they said, "Oh, Kimi 2, Kimi K2, if you give Kimi K2 your tools and describe your tasks, it automatically understand how to use the tools and get the job done. You don't have to write any complex workflow for agentic applications, right? Now, you just need to
Interesting.
give it like, you just need to, I guess, plug in all the tools you need. You have Notion, you have Google Docs, this is my calendar, this is that, and then this is what I want to do. It goes into all those tools and then gets the job done. So that's what they call it.
Based on my experience, I would be skeptical.
Yeah, right.
Maybe the model is
So
smart enough to do. We talked about this a lot, right? More data
yeah,
necessary doesn't mean it's a good thing.
that doesn't mean it's a good thing. Yeah, so they call this mixture of experts, right?
Mm.
So yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I'm also thinking of it having like different AI models. Will it be able to work with them? Like, what if I don't plug in tools, I plug in agents,
Mhm.
right? So how is
Yeah, I
it
mean,
going to react
it's
to that?
yeah, it will be able to as long as so fundamentally the tools are nothing but text description, right? This is how
Yeah,
MCP works.
yeah,
So if you describe your agent as this, and this is how you call an agent to this
yeah.
models, this really doesn't matter whether I'm calling an API, tool, MCP server, agent. It's all same.
Oh, yeah.
But
All right.
one thing I realized, sort of, we should just unpack Claude system prompt one day. I was reviewing
Yeah.
their system prompt. It's just a couple of page long, but there are so many useful nuts and bits there that is worth talking about.
Oh,
But
wow.
I was fascinated about one particular blog that said that Claude has a Claude router now. Going back to answering your question, whether it will work with other models, what Claude
Yeah.
router does is that you can make Claude code use GPT if you want.
Oh.
Yeah, you can
That's
change
interesting.
models. So what the person was saying that, hey, GPT-5 is out, maybe I should switch to GPT. Instead of using Sonnet or Opus 4, I will use GPT. Turns out the Claude code was not performing that well. So that begs a
Okay.
question, is this just the model that makes a difference? Is it because everything else is same? I just switched the model. So it
Yeah.
turns out lots of stuff that Claude does with prompting there are very specific to models. So I'm getting to the
Oh.
point where it's it's not right to write prompt once and run it anywhere sort of approach. It really doesn't work. What prompt is good for Claude might not be good for GPT-5.
Oh wow.
Yeah, every model has is different techniques the way you can get best results out of it. This is sort of next
Oh.
level of prompting that we are so slowly realizing, right? For in the
Yeah.
Claude system prompt, they have lots of XML tags to
Yeah.
force. Yeah, those XML tags. I was wondering. I was talking to a data scientist too. This XML, I never use XML tags. Where is this special purpose? But turns out those are specific things that Claude Sonnet watchouts for. So Sonnet will respect those, but
Oh
GPT-5
wow.
might not recognize those and
Let's
ignore them.
recognize it. Wow.
So that's why another reason we are getting lots of feedback saying that hey, GPT-5 is not producing results. Are you getting that feedback? I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
This
Yeah. Yeah.
GPT-5
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
not. Yeah, the
Not
previous one was
producing
better
results. Yeah.
because I think the GPT-5 needs a different prompting technique.
So does that mean prompt engineering is back again?
It's always in. It's always there, man.
We just keep going
Is
back,
it is
back.
it is it now? It's your Google searching technique. If you're not back in days used to be how good are you at Google search, right? That
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
So now it's how good at your prompting. I said that in conference too. There are lots of people who
Yeah.
are complaining, oh, this really doesn't work. I'm saying, are you prompting it correctly?
Hmm.
Well, I mean, it's
Okay.
about knowing how to use these tools properly, right? So, anyway.
Yeah, we're using it properly. Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right. I think that should be the last one for the day. It's been an interesting one. I guess a lot of people didn't join us live because I mean today's
Yeah,
Wednesday, and then maybe.
we announced it late,
But yeah.
but anyway, yeah. So you can watch
Thank
recorded,
you.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can
All
watch
right, take care.
recording. Yeah. You can watch recording on YouTube and watch on Twitter. Thank you very much for joining, and then see you on Monday. Yeah. See you next week.